It was a peaceful spring morning on my ranch, just outside Willow Creek, Ohio. The sun was rising over the rolling fields, casting a golden glow on my herd of horses grazing lazily in the pasture. I was sipping my black coffee on the porch, listening to the distant whinny of a mare, when the ground started vibrating. At first, I thought it was a distant train, but then I saw them. 10 massive charter buses rumbling up my gravel driveway like a convoy from hell. The doors swung open, and out poured hundreds of strangers' families with picnic baskets, kids with soccer balls, teens blasting music from boomboxes, and seniors unfolding lawn chairs. They unfurled a huge banner that read, "Willow Creek, HOA Ultimate Spring Bash courtesy of our new community grounds." And right in the middle, strutting like she owned the place in a bright turquoise jacket, clipboard in hand and a bullhorn at her hip, was Brenda Hargrove, the HOA president who'd been hounding me for months to fold my land into her little empire. She told these folks my ranch was public property, ripe for their party. What she didn't know was that my heavy-duty iron gate wasn't just for show it locked remotely with a tap on my phone app. That day, she'd led her army straight into my trap. I set my coffee down and watched the chaos unfold. People were setting up grills, stringing lights between my maple trees, and chasing after my horses, who snorted and bolted in confusion. Brenda grabbed her bullhorn and blared, "Welcome, everyone. Today we take back this space from greed. This is our community's green oasis. No one can hoard it anymore." Greed? That word burned. My ranch had been in my family for generations, never part of the HOA subdivision across the county road. Brenda had been on a mission to expand her turf, sending me citations for my barn's unsightly red paint, fake rules about my truck parking, and even complaints about horse manure smells wafting over. I'd ignore it all, but when I saw her flyers mapping my fields as HOA territory, I upgraded my gate, added cameras, and synced everything to my phone. I was ready. At exactly 9 a.m., I hit the lock button. The gate clanged shut with a deep thud, sealing in the buses and the crowd. Confusion spread like wildfire. Parents froze, kids whined, and bus drivers looked around nervously. Brenda's bullhorn squealed as she spun around. "What's this? Open that gate right now." I strolled down, coffee in hand, and called out, "You're all trespassing on private property. Nobody leaves until the sheriff sorts it." The crowd murmured, some laughing nervously, others glaring at Brenda. She marched over, heels sinking in the dirt, and jabbed a finger at me. "This land is for the community. We have rights." But her eyes showed panic. A teen pulled out his phone and yelled, "This is going live, HOA. Boss traps us all." One bus driver approached me quietly. "She hired us for a public event." "We didn't know." I nodded. "Park tight then, because we're waiting for the law." The heat rose, turning the field into a sauna. Kids cried for water. Folks argued about who brought snacks. And a group tried ramming the gate, with a picnic table only, to splinter the wood against unyielding iron. The driver shouted them down. "That's vandalism on top of trespassing." Brenda paced, bullhorn blasting empty promises. "Don't worry, this is our victory." But cracks showed. A dad confronted her. "You said this was approved. My family's roasting because of your lies." Others joined, waving her flyers. "You mapped his ranch like it was yours." I stayed calm, letting her flail. My cameras caught it all, and drones I'd set to auto-launch buzzed overhead, adding to the spectacle. The crowd turned ugly, demanding refunds for event fees she'd charged. Then, sirens wailed in the distance. Sheriff Hank Miller pulled up outside the gate, his sunglasses reflecting the mess. Brenda rushed over, screeching, "Arrest him's holding us hostage." Hank eyed the scene coolly. "Ma'am, why are you and these folks on his ranch?" She stammered about community rights, but had no deed. I handed over my titles, surveys, and tax docs. Hank nodded. "This is private land. You're trespassing in. If you took money, that's fraud." The crowd erupted. "You lie, Brenda." Shouts for refunds flew as deputies arrived. Hank organized the exit. Buses rolled out one by one, passengers hurling insults at her through windows. By the end, Brenda stood alone inside, turquoise jacket sweat-stained, clipboard limp. "This isn't over," she hissed as a deputy escorted her out. I exhaled as the gate locked again. My horses wandered back, the field trashed but mine. But Brenda wasn't done. The next day, a cease and desist letter arrived, accusing me of endangerment. She went on local TV, teary-eyed, claiming I'd traumatized families, ignoring Hank's statement, calling it clear trespassing. My lawyer, Elena Vasquez, laughed it off. "She's building our case." Leaks emerged. Brenda had misused HOA funds for buses and flyers. Anonymous tips from residents included her emails plotting to break the holdout. Viral clips dubbed her Bus Brenda, memes exploding online. She escalated with drones, spying on my ranch, and vans parked nearby with cameras. I documented everything. A former HOA board member, Greg Turner, slipped me a USB of her sabotage plants fence gutting, night trespasses. Elena filed for a restraining order. The judge granted it, barring her within 1,000 feet. Brenda's world crumbled. The HOA board ousted her, investigated embezzlement, and her house hit the market. She sued wildly, but evidence buried her. County patrols increased, catching her lurkers in the act. Finally, the county sealed my ranch as forever non-HOA. Brenda vanished. Rumors said she fled to another state, broke and disgraced. Neighbors apologized at a community meeting. I forgave the followers, not the leader. We even hosted kids to pet the horses, rebuilding bridges. In the end, my simple stand blocking that gate exposed her tyranny. The ranch healed, horses grazing peacefully under the Ohio sky. Boundaries held firm, truth won out. What do you think? Was I right to lock them in, or should I have handled it differently? Share your take in the comments, stand your ground, and let me know your views.